Well, hello again, everyone. It's been, again, another bit of a time. Not so long since the last update, but it's felt like a really long couple of weeks here because there's been a lot of things that have been setting me back from getting into the groove of getting new stuff done. And, obviously, we dropped a couple of commentaries. We dropped the one for the Terminator with Trent, Steve, and I. And we dropped Saw 6 because Steve and I had some time after we recorded that with Trent to just throw in something else, and that was the easiest thing we were prepared for. But coming up shortly is going to be commentaries for both Child's Play 3, which is going to hit pretty much exactly on the 30th anniversary date on August 30th. So about a week from now, you will be able to see and engage with that commentary that we have not recorded just yet. We will be doing that shortly. And we will also be recording our commentary for The Dead Zone. Now, again, as I said in the last update, Steve went back and reread the original King novel, and we got the new Screen Factory edition, so I got to go through a lot of the special features and get a little more insight and refresh my knowledge about the entire film. But that one's going to be really good. I think it's going to be potentially one of the best ones we've done because we did a real good job with the original Pet Sematary, and I really want to keep going a little bit with the Stephen King adaptations. So since Steve has so much of that knowledge of the original novel format of these stories, to get a little bit of that compare contrast type of thing going on, I think it makes for a very interesting discussion. But all the other fronts right now, it's been, again, a bit of a difficult time. I had a couple weeks ago where there was a certain thing that was nothing critically wrong with my car, but something wrong with the ventilation system that I needed to get repaired. So my car was kind of out of my hands for a number of days, and I had a jammed up schedule to a certain degree, and then this entire other odyssey occurred that kind of threw me completely out of whack, and I'll get to that in a moment. But everything's been kind of just thrown a little bit out of sorts in terms of when I was going to get things done, and it's like, okay, I don't feel quite into the groove to do the bigger stuff, so maybe entertain some smaller stuff. So I've been throwing things back and forth all over the place, trying to figure out where I'm going to go. But things have settled down now, and I'm focused forward. I'm going to be getting things done. But today I do have a concert to go to because Hemi is finally returning to the stage after nearly 2 years. And so they're doing this nice kind of free outdoor concert at this place in the suburbs here in Chicago. I'll be going to that in a couple hours. So you got to go to that and shoot the video and all that type of stuff and get hooked up with the guys a little bit and come back and hopefully settle into doing something, which I am going to be doing. The next video I am just and very much intend to do is the one for the 1998 X-Files movie. So I've been watching in this time where I've not been able to get myself up to doing it. I've at least been watching more and more episodes throughout the entire season. So I've at least been gathering all the little data from like early episodes to the later seasons, how things kind of morph and evolve and change the complexion of the series and the characters and the approach of everything. It's very interesting stuff. So I've at least utilized my time towards research purposes. And I've also been kind of dabbling back into doing a Redux review for the Mike Nichols, Jack Nicholson film Wolf, which I've talked about before. I talked about it sometime last year, and kind of been wavering back and forth. When I originally got this Indicator Series UK Blu-ray back in like 2018, I was really hot on it, but I couldn't get it factored into Forever Horror Month in terms of the time I had that year. So I put it back on the shelf, and it's kind of going back and forth here and there. I at least kind of have it kind of penciled in for October to do something like that, if not slightly earlier. Because going back, I watched the documentary on that disc. I got myself up and kind of getting the gears moving, not just like on the behind-the-scenes stuff, which has become far more widely accessible and known out there in certain websites. I've been kind of like formulating things like, what are the things I want to more talk about in depth this time around than I did 2013. So it's dabbling in there. It's going to get there, but definitely going to be doing the X-Files movie next. I just want to get that done. I'm really focused on that, so I want to get that out of the way and taken care of. So there's that. That's going to be happening sometime very, very soon. I'll be shooting that at least either tonight or tomorrow, and moving forward into post-production on that. But kind of the big thing is that the other odyssey I got into is moving into 4K for my home theater setup here, and I was eyeing this sort of Toshiba 4K TV, and because it ultimately like went on sale for like $100 off on Best Buy. I was like, okay, if I want to get this one that seems to have everything I want, got to jump on it kind of now. We kind of figured things out. We kind of jumped into it maybe just way too soon without me doing the thorough amount of research I should have done, because I ended up getting this thing. It was an Amazon Fire TV, and I didn't really like it at all because there was no black levels. The thing was just not a good, for what I'm watching it for movies. When I'm watching movies, I usually have it dark in here and watching it, and if there's no black levels, everything's kind of a mid-tone gray or something like that. It looked terrible. I was sitting down trying to watch my copy of the Halloween 3 Steelbook. It's like the black cinemascope bars, they're not black. Everything kind of mows together, and I was flipping through settings and all this type of stuff. It was really what was not working. And this threw me completely off for a couple of days. Like, oh, shit. I threw out my old entertainment center because the new 4K TVs don't fit in that size that I had before for like a 32-inch. They don't make them in that. You have to get a larger one. So I had to throw that thing out. I had to change the entire setup around here, and then started screwing me over. Really kind of screwing with my head, but eventually, with everything kind of figured out, and because this was all going to be sort of a partial, sort of very, very early Christmas gift from the family. They were going to chip in and pay for a good amount of it. Right now, they're paying roughly about half of it for the one I got here, because eventually I did extreme thorough research on this other TV, which is a Sony, the X85J, and that's what's sitting over here now. I am extremely pleased on, because, like, okay, if I'm going to plug this thing in, I'm going to test it. I'm throwing in Blade Runner. If I'm going to get something that has amazing colors, deep black levels, I'm throwing in Blade Runner, and it looked fucking phenomenal. From my eyes, this thing looked absolutely incredible to me. I'm thoroughly happy with it. I'm so happy with it. So everything kind of realigned myself back to a place where, like, I'm content, things feel right, I can get things going, and so that's going to happen soon. So I have the TV now. It's a 43-inch, and I'll be getting a 4K Blu-ray player from my friend Eric, my cinematographer friend that I've worked with on The Fixer and a whole bunch of different things that we've kind of mentioned here and there in commentary, stuff like that. But talking about The Fixer in a certain way in just a second here, but he got a refurb model for a Sony one as well, and eventually upgraded to something else. So he's willing to sell off the refurb model that he got from Amazon to me. So I'll be picking that up later today as well. So I've got a couple of 4K titles over here. I've already got, like, The Matrix, the first 3 Rambo films, and Mask of Zorro, Karate Kid, and then some of the Scream Factory John Carpenter films in 4K. So I've got a good collection to at least give it a good exercise before I start trying to obtain other titles. There's certain things on my short list. Definitely want to get Predator on 4K, because obviously the film's always been so difficult to kind of manage on home media formats. Original Blu-ray was okay. It's okay. Wasn't phenomenal. The second one, they slather it with digital noise reduction, looked actually terrible. But the 4K one, apparently everything I've seen, they've got it right. I definitely want to get that. And probably get at least get the trilogy pack, which is kind of like, they've replaced the trilogy pack with now the one with the 4th film, which is absolutely fucking shit. It's like, okay, well, I'll probably have to buy the 4 movie collection because it's cheaper now, because that's the one that's currently in print instead of the one that's kind of a little bit more, the older set that's not really being circulated as much. So, regardless of that, I create a short list. When I find some deals, I'll jump into that. But speaking of The Fixer, something I keep meaning to mention on the updates that I really never remember to talk about is that Amazon Media on Demand, the whole thing where they would you could upload your stuff and they would fashion press discs and sell basically everything manufactured on demand. They shut the entire service down. They announced that several months ago, and so there's that, where The Fixer and Dead of Night, my short horror black and white film, they're now no longer available on physical media. So there's that, and several months ago when The Fixer wasn't getting some poor analytics and stuff like that, they dropped it from the service. So basically, the only way you can watch my feature film, The Fixer, now is over on my Vimeo account. So I had like about 2 years of it being commercially released, and now it just no option there in such a way. So Dead of Night is still up on Prime Video. I don't think you can watch it with Prime. You still have to pay for it. So it seems to kind of come and go. It's like I got it recertified to go up on Prime as a Prime title. Now it's kind of off there. I don't know why this keeps happening, but whatever the case, you can watch Dead of Night on my YouTube here and Vimeo, wherever the case is. You can watch it wherever it is. Just the fact that it's up on Prime, people can find it there, come across it there, they can watch it, stuff like that. But regardless, so there's that. You know, just the fact that Amazon kind of refashioned the entire media on demand thing roughly about 3 years ago. That you could do Blu-rays, you could dual-layer disc, you could do multi-disc sets, stuff like that. I know they crapped it because whatever the case is, probably they just didn't feel like there was a good investment. So there goes that. But off on that regard. But so the 4K thing is really, really nice. So I've got all my apps. I didn't have to do much with the settings aside from turning off the goddamn motion blurring crap out of the box. And did some fiddling later on, but the thing looked really good out of the box aside from the motion smoothing crap. But it looks really good. Again, and very impressed. I went to the store as a final thing just to kind of give a little bit of a thing. They had a couple different sizes to look at, so I was very pleased. I'm very pleased having it here. Awesome stuff. So we'll be christening that with the commentaries and the reviews very, very shortly. And unfortunately, because it's been such a maddening time, I don't have any media pickups to give you. The one thing I've grabbed since the last update was the Child's Play 3 Blu-ray, because we got to have it to do the commentary. Again, it's been up on Netflix for the longest time now. I just never had the time to watch it, so never mind that. But it's kind of weird to not have a stack here and talk about things. But I was going to okay, I can grab all the 4K stuff I have off the shelf, but I haven't watched it in 4K yet to really give it any much of a thing. All I can do is just list them off and maybe some technical details I've heard from other critiques of it. But regards to that, that's what's really happening right now. So I'm looking to get up on the X-Files thing as soon as possible once I get all these other adventures out of my way today. And we'll see what happens. So, wish I had more to talk about there. It's a very, very short update where I don't have a stack of things over here to talk about. But, yeah, so, I mean, like, I still have, like, all those Scream Factory Halloween films on the wish list. I've got maybe the stuff with Star Trek first 4 films are putting on 4K. I just have to see what the price is. I mean, the price is very high from what I last saw. I might just kind of wait it out or something like that. I don't know. I'll just have to see. I did have to. The TV didn't come with the analog cables, whatnot. I've got, the little cables here. This is the one hooked up to my switch box over there. So I had to order the little adapter thing because this thing doesn't have actually like the direct inputs for this. It has a little kind of like adapter cable that goes into, takes the 3 of them, puts them into like one jack on the TV. So had to order that before I can test out the Laserdisc settings and stuff like that on this thing. But and I got a 4K HDMI cable I just got today and stuff like that. So I at least have the tools to put everything together and stuff like that. So regardless, that's good stuff. So I'll be posting up probably the Hemi live set in the next couple of days after it's actually happened. I've actually shot it. But in the next couple of days, it'll get online, and we'll post things on Twitter and stuff like that if you're interested. So I know the guys have probably been working on new songs. I don't know if they're debuting anything, but it probably should be a fairly reliable set of songs they're going to put out today. Probably a good half-hour set again. So we'll see how things go about. But, yeah, I just wish there was a stack here for me to go through and talk about that stuff, because now you guys really enjoy that. But I'll instead of me rambling on doing random shit, because I got to edit this thing before I leave and stuff like that. So hope you guys will enjoy things. So I definitely have I still have various things up on the schedule. I might move the Miami Vice 2006 movie video maybe to November, because we're getting up on September now. I'm going to do a big thing with X-Files and maybe get a small thing there, and then try to get up on the horror stuff for October. So might push it back a little bit there so I don't get too overwhelmed with big projects. Try to focus on things a little bit more and also get another retro video series of things out, because I have been looking back in November. I shot this whole video regarding the changing color grading of Seven from David Fincher. And when I shot it back then, it's like I had all the like technical details of how each Laserdisc and the DVD and the Blu-ray kind of moved along and how they got regraded and how they did all this stuff. But it didn't feel like I really had like a focus to what I was really trying to say about the entire the journey there, or something like that. The entire thing going on with how the film keeps changing from one format to the next in terms of what tools were available when the thing was made. So I'm zeroing in more on like an actual sort of like theme for the entire idea here. It's an interesting topic to discuss. It's not the only film this has ever happened to. So it's kind of like I need like a wider net of an idea to kind of wrap it around it. So it's like technical details of why this thing looks different from the other. Otherwise, it kind of turns into basically like another home video retrospective. And I want to have a little bit of a different topic that I'm exploring with that idea. But obviously, I also talked about doing the whole thing with comparing the theatrical and extended cuts of Ransom, the extended cut only being available on Laserdisc, which I have not been able to sit down and watch yet because I've had all this other shit going on. But so I'm just trying to settle down and focus in on some certain things. And thanks you guys for being very, very patient. And hopefully I'll get back up on the groove of things very shortly, and things will move forward on a much more proper pace. So, regardless, guys, thank you so much for checking things out and hitting up on this update. So I'm going to cut out here. So thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.